I still find it really adorable that we're still talking about Rotten Tomatoes. It's really sad that Rotten Tomatoes is relevant. It's been known for quite some time that it's really strange how much Rotten Tomatoes is respected by the movie industry, and that cherry-picking critics for the purpose of both Rotten Tomato scores and IMDb, critic scores, has been shady since the start of both of these functions of both sites, and that it's happened over and over and over again that they not only are shady with their cherry picking of critic scores, they're shady with their cherry picking of audience scores. It's funny that we're talking about Captain Marvel already. Everybody's trying to censor audience reaction to Brie Larson being a total bitch, and just a general disinterest in the movie based on the trailer, which is terrible, at least in my opinion. And I don't have any intention of seeing the movie. The thing is, how short is our memory? When The Last Jedi came out just a year and a half ago, there were tons and tons and tons of one-star ratings from the audience. Both Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb openly admitted to not counting most or all one-star ratings in their final user review score. So it's hilarious how many times I've argued with some defender of that piece of shit movie, The Last Jedi, who tried to claim, well, about half the audience still likes it because it has an audience user score of 4.5 out of 10. No, it doesn't. You know why it doesn't? Because literally tens of thousands of one-star ratings were deliberately ignored and not counted towards the score. These were almost always claimed to be trolls or something, and despite, I think, some of these reviews, at least on IMDb, being removed from the site, you can, to this day, go to the IMDb page of The Last Jedi and read through the audience scores, and you'll see 1 star, 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 2, 1 star, 1 star, 4, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. You might scroll for as many as 4 pages before you even see a 2-star rating. There are like 40-something thousand user reviews, and a lot of those star ratings come with lengthy essays written by the person saying, what the fuck is this movie? This ruined my childhood. Here's a list of the literally fucking dozens of plot holes in this movie. Here's why this doesn't make any sense, and this fucking plotline doesn't make any sense, and this character has horrific morals, and what the fuck is this? And then at the bottom of that review, it'll say something like, 450 out of 700 users found this review helpful. And that's a generous estimation of people who have said, I didn't like this review because I'm a Last Jedi fan. It's usually more like 80 to 20 ratio in terms of support for these long-winded, pissed-off one-star ratings. There are still people who are going on there to discuss the same shit like we do on YouTube. But 4.5, no, it's probably closer to 2.2. I'm just sort of guesstimating, but it's lower than 4.5 by a lot. So when 29%, or I think the score might have got as low as 27% in the Rotten Tomatoes I want to see this movie audience score, meaning that about 3 out of every 4 people who have an interest in this movie are angry about it and don't want to see it, Rotten Tomatoes says we're no longer going to allow comments, and we're no longer going to allow scores on movies that are not out yet. Except for there are actually people who see these movies before they have a nationwide release. If something gets reviewed at because they saw at a festival like Toronto Film Festival or Cannes or something, well, apparently that doesn't work anymore. And they're claiming this is a site-wise feature when it is once again to protect Disney from consumer backlash. And of course, same as The Last Jedi, same as Solo, A Star Wars Story, and same, here we are again with Captain Marvel. Everybody who is upset about the direction of the film, upset again about the behavior of producers, directors, actors in these films. Of course, a lot of the backlash against The Last Jedi was from people who didn't actually completely hate the movie, didn't think it was an abomination like I did. They were deeply, excuse me, I'm sorry, my throat is still really fucked up, deeply offended by the behavior of the supreme cunt-in-chief of Disney Lucasfilm, Rian Johnson, basically deliberately abusing fans on Twitter, deliberately abusing fans in the press, deliberately mocking fans. Same with Kathleen Kennedy, the director of Disney Lucasfilm, upset at her behavior, upset at her actions, or just a general hatred of the press constantly lying about us. And then eventually, sometimes people are just mad at Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb themselves for lying again and calling us trolls or brigaders. So basically, in summation, this video didn't even need to be this long. It's just to say that when the progressive left encounters massive resistance, their go-to defense is, oh, these people are trolls. We're implying that these people are disingenuous. They don't really hate our movie. They're just trying to bully us. No, they just hate your movie. Or they just don't want to see your movie because the trailer, as well as the behavior and interviews given by your lead actor, strongly implies that this movie is more intended as a political message and is basically fighting words. It's kind of hilarious that if a person like Brie Larson or Rian Johnson can repeatedly attack the consumers, call them trolls, call them man-children, call them babies, call them sexist or racist, and it's all because of the delusional, psychopathic political bias that they have towards the religious cult of progressivism, that they are behaving this way towards the consumers, and they're basically literally trolling and literally bullying the consumers. And when the consumers retaliate against what is essentially an unprovoked attack that is based purely on political bias and sheer fucking malice, all of a sudden we're the trolls. We're brigaders. We're haters. And what's hilarious is they have the nerve to call us gatekeepers while they're basically trying to violently terraform our culture like fucking General Zod and Man of Steel, and then wondering why we would resist. Because you guys are fucking assholes. Because you make shit products. Even people who are politically progressive hate The Last Jedi for basically taking a meteoric shit on the franchise. Even if you don't consider any of the political messaging in the movie, the disrespect for the characters, the disrespect for the franchise, the rape of the canon in general, there's nothing to like and everything to hate and resent. And then you wonder why anybody's mad. Well, I don't know for sure if Captain Marvel is going to be that offensive. I do strongly suspect it will be. It's going to be another case of you hate this movie because I'm a strong female character, when we can always point to Ripley. I can point to fucking, yeah, I mean, that's the go-to one, but if I sat down and thought of like Sarah Connor, and even in dramas, there's a lot of dramas of strong female characters that nobody has resisted. One of my favorite schlock movies of all time is a movie called Enough, that's starring, fucking what's-her-face, Jennifer Lopez. And it's a story about her beating the shit out of her abusive fucking husband, which I love that movie. And it's starring a chick who can't really act. She acts better than a lot of singers who turn to acting do. And it's just a schlocky movie, but it's all about female empowerment. But it's not all men are shit. It's this particular man totally deserves what Jennifer Lopez is going to do to him. And we, anti-feminists, anti-progressives, agree. Fuck that guy. He's a rapist. He's an abuser. Beat the fucking shit out of him. What about Jodie Foster in The Brave One, where she's going around shooting people because they fucking abuse women and shit? And we're down with that, because there's nothing political, and the movie does not present these villains as in the embodiment of all men, or the embodiment of all conservatives, or the embodiment of all white people. She shoots a multi-ethnic cast of fucking shitbags, and it's awesome. It's Death Wish with a chick. Nobody has a problem. Nobody complains. Not a fucking soul. So it's a lie every single time when they say that this is racially or sexually motivated. No. We are motivated by the same thing that motivates you. Politics. Only our general conception of what should be doing with these films is to get pretty much all politics out of it. I mean, God forbid if anybody fucking informs these people that the Dark Knight trilogy, Nolan's Batman trilogy, is filled to the fucking brim with conservative propaganda. And I guess they haven't noticed yet because Christopher Nolan's too fucking smart for them. But imagine if any of these people figure out how fucking many allegories to the war on terror are in the fucking Batman trilogy. They will freak the fuck out and sell DC down the river. It'll be hilarious. Nobody tell them. Nobody fucking tell them. Anyway, and I don't necessarily like those parts of the Batman movies because I don't necessarily always agree with what's being said thematically as an allegory to politics. Like when Batman says we need to be able to surveil the entire city against their will in order to catch the Joker. Lucius Fox correctly says to him, no, this is bullshit and no amount of terrorism makes this response acceptable. But Batman does it anyway. You know, shit like that. But anyway, I don't want to go on for too long. The point is, all these progressives do is lie. And it's definitely collusion. I would love for somebody at some point to get a leak where they find Disney communicating directly with Rotten Tomatoes. I do not believe that Rotten Tomatoes is being a bad actor and is improperly defending Disney films without direction. I don't believe they're doing it of their own volition. I believe that they are doing this at the behest and request of Disney. And in the case of Star Wars, Disney, Lucasfilm, Disney, Marvel, so forth. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody.